Rifters. We're here. How are you? It is a gloomy evening here in Norwood, Massachusetts. And it's time for your favorite time on a Tuesday evening. It's time for Static Rift here on the Go Network. As always, I am your host with the most, John, and I'm here with my partner in crime, the man with the plan, Jason.
What's up?
And in the booth, as always, from the future, the man, the machine, Dimitri.
If I owe myself $5 in the future, how does that work?
You'd
now?
have to tell us. You're the future guy, not
yeah,
us.
I know. Yeah. You'd have to break that
Gee-
down for us.
Yeah. Or what if, like, okay, so you owe yourself $5 in the future, technically, and you have the $5 now. Does your future self have the $5 at that point?
I don't know.
Like, does it
Do I?
materialize in your pocket?
I don't know. Does it?
I would
Well,
think.
we also don't know. What if currency changes in the future? Then you got to worry
Yeah,
about
you know that.
exchange rates. And, yeah,
What is
might
the
get
currency
tricky
like,
then.
Dimitri?
Is $5 still worth $5?
Right. What's $5 now worth in the future?
Yeah, you tell us.
How do we get into a time travel argument?
I don't know. You might owe yourself like $50 if depending on inflation.
I
and-
feel like the money would lose its value and there'd be like a new currency.
the way things are going, probably.
So
yeah.
his like $5 would be like 5 cents
yeah,
or something like that.
depreciating value.
So like
yeah.
he'd have the 5 in his pocket right now, but in the future it would just deteriorate into something else.
just crumbles down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you probably owe yourself a lot more. Are we ever gonna have like a point in time, like some episode? This is episode 176,
Mm-hmm.
but say maybe like episode like 190. Are we gonna have like future Dimitri come back for that money, and he's just gonna like break in the studio and like murk us, so we'll never hit 200?
I hope so. That'd be our highest rated segment yet.
You think so?
Yeah, probably.
Us just dying?
Pull a cable.
It'd be interesting. Yeah.
Like future Dimitri. Well, technically, he's future Dimitri, so it'd
Yeah.
be like super future Dimitri.
Should be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nega Dimitri.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Why
It-
are we on this right now?
I don't. Yeah.
This is the start of the show,
This is how it
Dimitri.
always goes.
Yeah.
Guess so.
Yeah. What do you guys not like this? I thought
No,
this is what we do.
I'm down for it.
Yeah, this is fine. We talk all things nerdy. Time travel is a nerdy aspect of life. So
And sometimes in some films it's done well, in others it's not.
sure.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Or it's done well in other films and it's not done well in certain films, and the only way you find out it's not done well is by reading an article
Yeah.
after the film.
Right.
So
Because somebody had to figure it all out
Yeah.
because that actual film was a mess.
you're not even sure if it's done well or not
Yeah.
because you're so confused.
Even if that film was supposed to be the biggest film of all time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
No.
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 I'm lost.
No. It was.
Endgame sucked. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, it kind of it sucks. It wasn't good. It was not good. I mean, granted, I didn't think Infinity War was amazing at first, but when I saw it the second time,
Yeah.
then I was like, okay,
Right.
this movie's amazing. So I'm not sure. I don't think there's anything that could get me to say Endgame's amazing, but maybe seeing it a second time would make it be like, well, it doesn't blow, but it's not great. But I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm not willing to sit through it a second time. I'm still mad about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can sit through it a second time.
Yeah, I'm good.
Unfortunately,
I'm all set.
I don't think I can do it. Maybe, I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe. It just was not great. Oh. Hello there.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're pressing buttons. Things are happening.
See some girl getting down.
We saw a lot of that this weekend, actually. Especially that Saturday night.
Oh yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man, people at casinos, boy, It's just you're just walking around surrounded by bad decisions
I should have
happening
stayed.
simultaneously
And we
around
didn't
you.
make one.
No, we didn't. Well,
No, I don't think we made a bad
Did we?
decision.
no, I don't think we did.
What, by being there?
No,
No.
we avoided.
We didn't do anything bad.
So
Yeah.
for the people that don't know what you're talking about,
Oh right, yeah.
So we were at a casino this past weekend because Terrificon finally came. We went to Mohegan Sun this past weekend for 3 days of Terrificon greatness. So we're going to have our con roundup in our first segment of the show. Unfortunately, no Mitch again. He can't make it tonight. He's in New York. When I asked him, he made it sound like he'd rather be on the show than in New York. He actually said that.
Yeah.
So,
He's probably doing some business stuff that isn't all that fun.
I don't know. Or maybe he's like out with the wife or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or
Yeah.
maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like he was doing something nerdy, because if he was doing something nerdy, I think he would have been excited.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it is businessy and he doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's a business thing, and he's got to wear a suit, and
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen him in a suit
I can't.
I've seen
picture
him in, like,
Mitch
a
in
blazer.
suit. Yeah.
with like a comic T-shirt under it.
Right.
But I don't think I've ever seen him in like a suit.
He's got a meeting with some bigwigs or something.
So unfortunately, no Mitch tonight. So it's just me and Jason talking about our weekend in sunny Mohegan Sun with all the Seth Rollins ripoffs
yeah.
that we saw.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
We will.
And speaking of Seth Rollins, we're going to have a big wrestling segment. It was a huge weekend for wrestling with NXT TakeOver, Toronto, SummerSlam, and the G1 final. Both blocks and the final of the whole tournament itself all happened this past weekend. So we'll get into all that. We'll talk about each block final and what we thought about it. And then we'll talk about the final itself, kind of give our feelings of how we feel it went and how it should have went, and what we think Wrestle Kingdom's going to be like. So we're going to have a big, big wrestling segment talking about, like I said, SummerSlam, TakeOver, New Japan, G1. Maybe give a little talk about the J Cup coming up. And, yeah, so that's going to be the show. It's going to be Terrificon, and it's going to be wrestling. So, as we start every episode of Static Rift, we're going to talk about what we did this week. Me and Jason are not going to talk about Terrificon yet. So, something else we did beside
Oh, crap.
going
Okay.
to Terrificon. Because we
Whoops.
yeah. So we had to do, I mean, we have lives, right?
No.
Maybe not.
Well, sometimes.
Right. It's getting to the point that we're on here Tuesday, then we're streaming, and then, yeah, maybe we don't have lives.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just hop out that window right now. So, Dimitri, what did you, the person who had the chance to do the most this week, because you
By the
didn't,
way, so we didn't have a show last week. You must be done with Bones by now.
I am.
Oh, God. Thank God.
okay.
All
So,
12 seasons.
I'm happy for you.
so
Damn.
Bones is in the rearview mirror.
Yes.
What are you doing now? It's something TV related, because you don't read books or play games or do anything else.
Not really. No, not new games anyway. Actually, I did a lot of watching. I watched season 3 of Stranger Things. I finished it.
Okay.
All right.
I rewatched Spider-Man Into the Multiverse and Black Panther
Very good.
for some odd reason because I had nothing
You
else
mean
to do.
Into the Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
the multiverse? I like that.
No,
I mean, it is a multiverse.
the multiverse, whatever.
Sure,
Same
yeah.
thing. Into the Spider-Verse. And there was something else that I don't remember, but those are the main things I did.
So Spider-Verse, Stranger Things, and what was the third thing?
Oh, and we rewatched Black Panther.
Okay. So let's go through them each one. Black Panther. Were you watching it a second time? How did you feel?
I was just watching on Netflix. It's been in my list for a while.
Is this the first time you watched it?
No, I've seen
Okay, so this is like the second time you
Yeah,
watched
and
it.
it's weird because it's one of those movies that I can't watch over and over again. Like Into the Spider-Verse, it's a fun film, and you could watch it over and over again. But Black Panther, after you watch it 2 or 3 times, it almost becomes like boring.
I'm not even sure I could rewatch Black Panther once.
See,
Like I saw, it was good. It was a good movie. I
It
just
wasn't-
don't.
I think it's good, but I think it's super overrated.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
super overrated, unfortunately. I know a lot of people love it, and I know a lot of people love it because what it did for culture, kind of, more so than the movie,
Sure.
but they won't admit it.
No, I think they admit it.
No, a lot of people don't admit
I
it.
think by now there's very few people who are like, that was an Oscar-worthy film. It's like,
Well, it
no,
won
it
an
was just
Oscar.
a, well, but for not for like,
Sure.
not for movie of the
Well,
year.
I don't think there's any. No offense to comic book movies, as much as I love them and I believe they should
None
be
of them
nominated.
should ever win an Oscar.
I don't know about that.
Sorry, they shouldn't.
I don't know
No.
about that.
Eh.
Some of those crappy movies that win Oscars or get nominated for Oscars suck compared to these comic
Oh,
book
sure.
movies.
And it's all the same like dozen actors over and over and over.
It's just
Oh,
trash.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
it has to be something that like a pompous like
I'll
rich
say
person
this.
would like.
I'll say this: I would have rather seen a comic book movie win an Oscar than what was it a couple years ago, La La Land, that BS
Yeah,
self ass kissing Hollywood movie with Ryan Gosling.
it's like
It was
get outta
literally a
here.
musical about how hard it is to make it in Hollywood. Like, oh god, yeah.
It's like
So maybe that's an occasion, but in general,
no, I don't know. I think all these Oscar films, these Oscar worthy films, are all the same for the most part. They all have that same feeling. They're all that like high class film. It's like
well,
why
yeah.
can't something cool win?
because the Academy is full of film nerds and film snobs. So
Get out of here. You can
it
still,
is.
You can still be a film snob and enjoy action movies or enjoy a comic
No.
book movie.
They don't
Yes,
though.
you can.
Literally, the people who like vote on this stuff or however they decide at the Academy, they think comic book movies are like an abomination.
Sure, that's just like the whole Grammys when like rap or hip hop wasn't like accepted, and now
Yeah.
eventually they'll accept it.
They will eventually, yeah.
Eventually they'll accept
Sure.
it, but there's just so many of these crappy like movies that I could give two craps about.
Yeah.
That win or are nominated that are like Dimitri said are basically the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just feel like, what about my boy Quentin Tarantino? Like, obviously he's been nominated,
Yeah.
a couple times, but I don't think he's ever won like a best movie.
I don't believe.
I don't think he
so.
has.
It would have had to have been one of the early ones.
Yeah,
Because his recent ones haven't.
I don't think he has.
Now, a
but,
lot of people are saying this newest one, he has a shot.
oh,
The
well,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
we
but
can. We'll talk
but
about
again,
that.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's about Hollywood. That's why he has a shot to win. Because
It's
these Academy people love it. Oh, you're going to make a movie about us? Ooh.
I
we
guess.
like that.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I don't know. So Dimitri, so Black Panther second time,
not as good as the first.
not as good as the first. Into the Spider-Verse second time.
It was still fun. It was obviously not as amazing as the first time because I wasn't watching it in theaters and the visual aspects in theaters are so much better than my TV at home. But still, fun movie to watch again.
See, I don't think I'd watch it again. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great.
I would rather watch Into the Spider-Verse again than Black Panther again,
So Into the Spider-Verse a second time.
or even a third time than Black Panther a third time.
Was it better a second time?
No, it was just fun. It was just.
Okay.
I mean, it's a good movie. I think it has rewatchability.
So Dimitri, are you the type of person that when you watch a movie a second time, it doesn't necessarily get better or worse for you for the most part?
I have never seen a movie a second time and it's gotten better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, it gets worse.
Okay. There's been plenty of times where I've seen a movie a second time and I appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Plenty of times.
I can't.
I mean,
think
there's
of one.
definitely way more times I've seen it a second time or a third time. Well, I don't know
Unless
if
it's
I've
like
seen
a deeply psychological movie or like something like that where you didn't get the nuance of it the first time. But other than that, I can't think of any other movie that I watched a second time that got better.
See, I think like I don't know, a good action movie. Seeing it a second time, you appreciate the action scenes a little bit more. Maybe they were a little too fast, a little too hectic for you in
Yeah,
the
maybe.
theater.
Yeah.
And then the second time, like the John Wicks did that for me. Seeing John Wick 1 and 2 like a second time, I was like, oh, this movie's phenomenal. Like this is great. So I feel like it can definitely help with an action movie. Like I said, it helped me with Infinity War. And seeing Infinity War a second time, I was like, this movie. Quality.
Yeah.
What was the difference between the first and second time?
For Infinity War or
Yeah, for Infinity War.
I think Infinity War I just didn't really appreciate, or maybe I missed a little bit of dialogue or something. I just didn't appreciate the greatness. It didn't really click for me, but the second time seeing it, I got to kind of like pay a little bit more attention, I guess, and I don't know, it was just a lot better the second time. Sometimes, I don't know, at least for me, you might miss something, or maybe in that moment, you're in the theater and you're thinking about something, or a bill's due, and I don't know what I was thinking of at the time, but it just watching it, I was like, the movie's good, it's just not great to me. And then seeing it a second time, I was like, okay, I'm wrong. This movie's great. So it's just, I don't know. The action was a little bit better. I felt I was the ending kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, how abrupt it ended. But then, like, rewatching it and kind of rethinking it over, it ended pretty well. I mean, I still think it ended a little abruptly,
Right,
but I was able
there's
to
a second part.
appreciate it a little bit more, I guess.
All right.
So, I don't know. I feel certain movies you definitely seeing it a second time can make it a better movie for you. I mean, a good amount of the time you see a movie a second time. There's very few movies I've seen like more than like twice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really watch movies over for the most part.
I can name a handful of movies that I can rewatch over and over again.
Yeah, there's a
have,
few that I could do. Yeah.
and they never lose their luster.
I've seen Blade a ton of times. I've seen the Star Wars, all the Star Wars, like the first 3, a good amount of times. Other than that, though, I can't think of many movies that I've seen. Maybe like a comedy movie once in a while. Like, I really like The Other Guys, even though it's not a great movie. I think it's really funny.
Okay.
I've seen The Other Guys a couple times.
Yeah.
Maybe Super Bad. Maybe not many films I've seen. I really like 21 and 22 Jump Street, so I've seen those a couple times. Other than that, though, I will see a movie once, and most of the time I won't see it like more than, if I do, it's a second time, and that's it.
Wow.
So yeah, I really don't see films like over and over and over and over and over and over. I can't do that. I don't know. It's just not how I am. So, enjoyed Spider-Verse. What'd you think about Stranger Things?
It's tough. It was good. But I think season 1 was the best.
I like this season a lot.
Are you finished with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Jason has seen it, though.
I still haven't watched it, and honestly, I'm not like.
Just so you know, Jason, strange things happen.
I bet, yeah. Well, first of all, I've already seen a whole bunch of spoilers, so now I'm kind of like, I may not watch it.
What?
I might be done.
Why don't you just watch it?
I don't know.
So
There's
what?
other shows that I want to watch right now. So, and those are taking up my time.
How far are you in Stranger Things?
I finished season 1 and season 2.
Oh, okay. Well, it's only 8 episodes. It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
I
It's worth a
know,
watch.
but I
Just
just
why
don't know
you?
if I care that much.
Why not?
Yeah, I didn't care that much at the end of season 2. I was kind of like, it's a good show, but it's not like
Oh,
best
get
show.
out of here! It's a really good show.
Yeah.
Well, so what shows are you watching that are better than Stranger Things?
Succession just came back on HBO. That's like the best show on TV right now.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I
It's
think
a
I'm
great
all
show.
set with that. What is it about? Quick,
It's-
10 seconds.
I've talked about it on this show
I know.
before. It's about, all right, so Brian Cox plays like this media
I don't even know who that is.
okay, he's the original Hannibal. He played Stryker in the X-Men movies. Old guy, old British guy.
Ah, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he runs like a multi-million-dollar conglomerate, whatever, and he's got like 3 kids who are all battling to kind of see who's going to take over the company at the end. What is his name? Kieran Culkin is one of his sons. Okay, Macaulay Culkin's brother. Literally, that's the easiest thing. Anyway, it's a great show. It's like humor, but it's a little bit of drama. Like, it's a little bit of everything. It's probably the best show on TV right now.
Okay.
Like, I would rather watch that than watch Stranger Things right now.
Hmm.
Just, eh.
That doesn't sound that great to me.
It's a good show.
Could be, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's I think Stranger Things is one of the best
Mm.
TV shows around. So
I wouldn't go that far.
I think so. I think it's one of the top TV shows on TV right now.
It's not on TV.
It's on Netflix, whatever.
Yeah.
It's still television.
Yeah.
It's one of the best TV shows, hands down. There's not many shows that I think that top it right now.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll give you it's probably the best show on Netflix.
it's definitely-
Actually, no, that's not true. Peaky Blinders is.
Oh, I don't even know
Oh,
what
actually, that
is.
reminds me. I did watch something else.
What's that?
I unfortunately do not have Amazon Prime anymore, so I can only watch it with a friend. But The Boys,
Oh, I've heard about
I
that.
hear it's
it is
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Season 2 has already been announced.
I always wanted to read the comic. I never did.
And I love Carl Urban.
Yeah, Carl Urban's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's been good in everything except Doom. I will not forgive him for that
Well,
Doom
you know
movie.
what? The entire movie sucked. So
Yeah.
it's really not
Even The Rock had a bet.
Yeah, but I blame everyone involved in that, including Carl Urban, who I like, but you were responsible for that too, Carl.
I saw the first 2 or 3 episodes of The Boys. I don't remember how many, but it's a great show.
I've heard really good things
I hear
about
it's good.
Yeah.
Will I watch it? Probably not.
No?
I mean,
do
I'm
you
nev-
have Amazon Prime?
I'm never gonna buy Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
I'm never. I don't even like buying stuff off Amazon for the
Wow.
most part. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Amazon. Generally, when they deliver stuff to me, they just throw it on the ground like a piece of trash, or they like leave it in the middle of my driveway.
Well, you don't buy fragile things on Amazon.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying fragile things. I'm just saying like
Oh, well, then
it's not nice to have like whatever your package in the middle of a driveway when they could walk up to your porch and put it on there.
sure.
I just feel like Amazon has like these really lazy piece of crap drivers because they pick any dude off the street. Hey, do you want to drive for Amazon? Sure, okay. So it's like, get the hell out of here, dude.
I don't know. I haven't had
Some
an issue
dude
with
who's
Amazon.
like not paying his child support.
Yeah, I've never had any issues with Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
anytime
I,
I
don't
have
like
had an issue, I just email them and they solve it almost immediately.
Yeah.
Or chat.
I don't know. I'm more of an eBay kind of guy.
Ooh.
So-
See, I wouldn't trust that even more.
No, I
Why
would never.
not?
I would never buy anything off eBay.
No,
Why not?
I've bought stuff off of eBay before.
I'll sell stuff on there. I'll never buy
You
stuff
have
off of there.
you have the what you call it, the eBay guarantee.
Yeah, but they always these scumbags on there always find some way to finagle around it.
No, if they do, eBay still gives it to you. eBay gets it for you. They'll get you
Yeah.
something else.
I don't know.
They'll find you another item.
I'm all set.
I've
Oh,
never had one issue. I've bought tons of comics on eBay. I've bought clothes on eBay. I've bought.
Why would you buy clothes
oh,
online?
Yeah, that I really wouldn't do.
Because you can't get a lot of really cool T-shirts around here.
All right. Oh, yeah. Well,
So I
guess.
buy like a lot of T-shirts online. Sometimes they don't
Yeah,
fit,
you,
but
you get special design and stuff. I don't. I just go to the store, make sure it fits me.
I don't
first.
buy I wouldn't buy like jeans or anything. I bought boots. I've bought shoes online.
Nah, I did not. I wouldn't do that. I have to go to the store.
See, I
Put
don't
them
know.
on. Yeah. How do you know what they're gonna feel like? What if they're like cheaply made and
Actually, I've bought sneakers online. I've never had an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as I get the right size, they're fine. Generally.
I'll get like Timberland boots. I mean, I know the quality of
yeah,
Timberland.
All right, yeah, they all.
So I'll be I got my dress boots that I have that you've probably seen me wore before. I've bought them. They're from like England, so I had to buy them online. So I mean,
Fancy.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
plenty of like things I've bought. I don't know. I find eBay to be much easier and better to purchase things than Amazon.
I mean, with both those combined, you can literally find anything that ever exists.
Sure. But
Yeah,
with
that's true.
eBay, say like you buy whatever. Say you buy this bottle of Purell, and the bottle of Purell's cracked and it's leaking. Depending on who gave it to you on Amazon, the person might not have to pay you back.
Well, that's why you never. Yeah, I don't
I'm
buy
just saying.
from third
So
party
you just
sellers.
buy
Like,
just from Amazon,
Yeah.
right? So if you end up buying something else, you could get screwed. With eBay, eBay's gonna hook you up every time. So if your bottle of Purell is broken, they're giving you a new bottle of Purell.
I mean, it's happened to me a couple of times on Amazon. I just message Amazon and be like, "Hey, it's broken."
right, but it's only if you buy it through Amazon. If you buy it through a
if you
third,
buy through a third party, then Amazon's not involved whatsoever.
exactly,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
it's just distributed by them.
Just
so
why
they,
I don't.
right.
Yeah. I don't
So
mess
I
around with
mean, I don't know.
Yeah, all right, I get it.
So what did you do this weekend, Jason? Besides not watch Stranger
that.
Things?
Yeah, I didn't watch Stranger Things. Still haven't gotten around to that. I decided to replay, like we were talking about what shows would you rewatch. There's a lot of games that I've been wanting to replay through.
See, I
Recently?
think games would be even less I'd replay.
Oh no, there's a few that I would like. I've played through Mass Effect probably 5 or 6 times, like the
Ooh.
entire trilogy. Because
I haven't even beat the third game.
Oh man, those games are so good. No, I decided to replay Horizon Zero Dawn.
Never even heard of it.
It's kind of a cool futuristic game. You play as this girl Aloy who shoots a bow and arrow. You've definitely seen screen caps and stuff like that of it. But I played it when it first came out. God, I don't even remember when it was. Maybe 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. And I kind of had just the original PS4 with like a crappy TV. So I wanted to replay it now that I've got the PS4 Pro and I've got a 4K TV to really take advantage of the awesome graphics. And that game's really good. I forgot how good that game actually is. The story's really fun. The gameplay is so smooth. It's kind of open worldish, which I like, but it's not too overwhelming. The map's not massive, so you can explore a little bit, but the main story kind of keeps you locked in enough that you're not wasting time just running around this huge map. Yeah, it's really good. That game's really good if you haven't played it. I think it's on sale right now in the PlayStation Store. So if you haven't played through it before and you want to grab it, now's a good time to do so. I know they're going to be doing a second one. I don't think it's coming out until next year, like late next year. So you've got some time. It's totally worth playing through. It's a really fun game. Like I said, the gameplay is so smooth. Really fun story. So yeah, I started that up again.
I've seen the case, but I've never seen anything about it. Like, I've seen the case when I worked at Best Buy.
Yeah.
Like, the cover. But I've never seen anything about it. Beside the cover, I've never heard anything about it. I've never... Like, if I didn't look at the cover, I'd have no idea what the game's... I'd have no idea what the game is.
It's like, you live in, like, the future kind of post-apocalyptic world, and everyone's living in, like, tribes. So, it's that kind of thing, but instead of, like... You have machines that are around, like machine-like animals, basically.
Yeah, I see some kind of, like, four-legged machine guy.
Right, that kind of roam the wilds and stuff that you have to fight, so it's cool.
Like a machine wolf or something.
Yeah. It's like a mix of, like, old school, like, old-timey tribal civilization and, like, futuristic robotic civilization.
It gives me a slight, like, Skyrim vibe.
A little bit, yeah.
With, like, the landscapes and stuff like that.
It's Skyrim with, like, machines.
So Skyrim meets future.
Yeah.
So Skyrim and, like, well, not necessarily Fallout, but Skyrim.
But it's not nearly as open world as Skyrim.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, looking at, like, the screenshots here, I would say it's an open world game. So it's fooling.
It's limited open world. Yeah. I mean, there's some open world aspects to it, but not nearly as much.
So
as
it's
Skyrim.
linear open world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to kind of follow.
Yeah. Now you still get like dialogue options throughout
Sure,
the game,
yeah.
so that kind of stuff stays in. But yeah, it's
So
a
it's
lot
like-
more linear than Skyrim is.
So it's like an RPG, a linear RPG, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I mean,
yeah.
there's plenty of games like that are still good.
Oh sure, but this one's I don't know. This one has a really unique feel to it.
I just never heard of it.
It's really good.
So it must have not I don't think it got like a ton of... You know what it kind of reminds me of slightly, and you're not going to like this? Kind of reminds me of Avatar a little bit.
Like the Blue People Avatar?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it does.
No, I don't think so. It's
Look at-
nothing like that. I mean,
No, those look like Navi.
Gives me a little Avatar-ish feel.
yeah.
And Avatar has, like, wood, like, forests with, like, machines and stuff. It's a little Avatar-ish.
Yeah.
I just think you hate Avatar so much that...
I do.
You don't
I think
wanna-
This is, if it's even close to similar to Avatar, it's way better.
I'm just saying it reminds me of it, like, visually a little
Maybe.
bit. Like, it has the visuals of Avatar.
Yeah.
I would say, like, Avatar meets, like, Skyrim. That's the vibe I get
Sure,
from
something
seeing,
like that.
like, the
yeah.
screenshots and stuff.
It's a visually stunning game. I'll give it
That's
that.
nice.
So-
Looks good.
But yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. So as for me, I enjoyed something today. Something that I've been waiting for a long time.
That's new.
And if you listen to the show, it's not new.
Oh.
It's old. It's
Oh.
back. If you listen
I
to
know
the,
what it is.
if you listen to the show, you know I've been excited for this. I've been waiting for this for a few months now. Spicy nuggets at Wendy's are finally back.
I saw that. Yeah.
And they're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
I'm sure they're wonderful.
They're the best nugget on the planet. There's not a nugget better than it.
You people and your spicy nuggets, I don't get it.
Spicy nuggets are the best.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
How about
thank
this?
you. Yeah.
Bring some in, and we'll judge it.
Yeah. We'll do a live taste test.
Go buy them. They're cheap. They're like $1 or $1.29.
And how big are the nuggets? Are they like this big?
And do you only
'Cause
get
that's
four
what
They're not
Wendy's.
that
That's
big.
what Wendy's apparently does.
I think you're
hey, our
crazy.
food's really cheap,
They're
but it's
the
like bird food.
They're the same size as a McDonald's nugget, for sure.
Yeah, but you only get like 3 of them.
You get 4 of them. You get a 4-piece.
You only get 4 nuggets?
If you get either 4, 6, or 10. You
How much
choose.
is? Okay.
So it depends on what you buy. It's the same as McDonald's. McDonald's is 4, 6, 10, or 20.
Or Burger King. Yeah, Burger King sometimes has that deal
It's
for
always the
20
same.
for
It's
$5.
you only get 4.
I don't know.
It's always 4, 6, or 10.
I have a big problem with Wendy's portions.
I think McDonald's might be the only one that offers 20. I don't know if Burger King or Wendy's offer 20.
Right. It's because McDonald's is for real people who want to really eat.
I mean, I guess.
Not
Not
pick at
really.
bird food like you Wendy's people. Chicken sandwiches the size of like an Oreo cookie.
No, you're getting like
Oreos.
the value chicken sandwich. You're getting like the equivalent of like a McChicken. So it's
I don't know. I haven't been impressed with Wendy's lately. So
well, you're picking the wrong stuff, I guess.
yeah.
But
Just go to Taco Bell.
spicy nuggets are
really.
back, and they are just as glorious as they were when they were here the first time. I've been kind of down on Wendy's myself. I feel that, I don't know, like the last couple times I've been to Wendy's, I've had, like right now they're supposed to be in like this bacon, like extravaganza,
Yeah.
but I feel like the bacon's been trash.
Well, that's
like,
not good.
Yeah, it's like they're hyping up like it's the bacon extravaganza.
And you and I talked about how
And this is
important bacon is.
Sure. And this is exactly what it's been. It's either been flabby bacon
Mm.
or like today I bit into my, because I got a small, junior bacon cheeseburger with my nuggets. And I bit into it. And at first it was really good. And then there was like a one piece out of like, they give you like 2 or 3 pieces of
Yeah.
bacon. One of the pieces were like that rock hard, like you bite into it and it just shatters
Shattered,
in your
yeah.
mouth. It's just
Awful.
like, Wendy's, what are you doing with the bacon? Like, I'm proud you brought back the spicy nugs. What's going on with the bacon, bro? Like, what's
Yeah.
happening here? Like, I got a Baconator like a week or 2 ago, and it was just flabby. It was like the worst bacon, and I was just like, I'm all set with this Baconator. Like, I'm
Yeah.
out of here. Like, I don't know. Wendy's has let me down with like bacon wise. Like, for like a couple weeks now, I've had like kind of trash burgers at Wendy's,
Wow.
which really lets me down because for a long time they were like the tried and true. Like they'd never let me down. Like you go to McDonald's, and depending on who's making the food, or depending on
Depends on what shift
you can get good
yeah.
McDonald's or a bad
Yeah,
McDonald's.
yeah.
You can get good Burger King or a bad Burger King.
Mhm.
For the most part, Wendy's was very consistent. I felt like for the majority of the time, it was always either amazing or good. It's
Right.
I never had bad Wendy's up
Yeah.
until like recently, where I'm like, oh, Wendy's let me down here. Granted, I've never been let down by a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Okay.
It's always money.
Yeah.
It's always good. Never lets me down. Always crispy. Always spicy. Always tasty. And the nuggets are that same quality. I feel Wendy's nuggets have been a letdown, like the normal nuggets, because they're also hit or miss too.
Sure.
You can either get crunchy, like tasty nuggets, or you'll get like
Soggy nuggets.
soggy,
Ugh.
nasty nuggets. And I'm just like, oh, get
Yeah,
out of here,
no,
dude.
That's,
Like,
no.
so, but I feel like the spicy nuggets are always crunchy.
Mm.
They're always like that nice consistency. Like I've never had a bad spicy nugget, and I was worried when I got my first batch. I was like, oh man, like what if these spicy nuggets?
Yeah. What if
suck?
they suck?
I was like,
yeah.
if they suck, I'm
What
done.
if you waited all this time?
Wendy's is out,
Yeah.
out, out, out. If they suck, when I bit into the first one, I was like, okay. but I've been teased
All
before
is right in the
where
world.
you'll get like one out of the four, because generally I'll get my nuggets in a 4 for 4, and you only get 4 nuggets, and I'll get like one
Right.
good nugget, and then you'll get
Yeah.
the other 3 nuggets be like trash.
4 nuggets and a cookie of a sandwich. Yeah.
Oh, it depends on the sandwich you get.
Ugh. Well, I can tell you if you get the chicken sandwich, it's like a puck.
Well,
like
it's
this
the
big.
it's like the same as getting a McChicken at McDonald's.
Yeah, great. Let me get 20 of those, and then maybe I'll feel full.
If you eat 20 McChickens, you're a savage.
Well,
You're
whatever
a
the
savage.
bird food is they're serving at Wendy's, I need like 10 of those.
You're
Like, it's
crazy.
ridiculous.
You are nuts. You are crazy.
So yeah, their food is cheap, but like I need to
no,
triple
just
my
the
order.
4, just for the 4 for 4, because you're getting like value food.
Yeah, but that sucks.
Wait. Food? It isn't even food to begin with.
No, it's really not. It's like a
Fast
I don't
food is not actual food.
Why is it not food?
well, it's still food.
It's food. Get out of here, dude.
I mean,
Get
by
off
the
your high
definition
horse.
of food, it's food.
But it's like the meat is not real.
Who cares?
None of it's actually like.
It's real enough to
There's
me.
no nutrients in it.
That's not true.
There's
I'm sure there's some. They're just not great.
Some. They put pickles on it. There's nutrients in those.
I'm sure there's plenty of places that you eat out that isn't even fast food that the food isn't that great either.
Oh no, of course, but
So-
most of the things are fried food now or have sugar in or whatever it is, So
I mean, that's anywhere. though.
unless you actually like pick a fruit out of your own garden, nothing is actually
Right. So I mean, that's anywhere. Even sometimes, some of the food you'll buy in like a store. You
Yeah.
know, like unless it's something that you're like
I would still.
preparing yourself, like making from scratch. It's generally not going to be.
I'd still rather have a burger from McDonald's than pay what was it, $65 for a steak at Michael Jordan's.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
I'd eat that steak at Michael Jordan's.
I bet it was good,
We'll get
but I
back to
wouldn't
my-
pay $65.
We'll get back to Michael Jordan's. I'd probably pay for it. I don't know.
Oh.
I've been thinking about it all. Like, I've been thinking about it. We'll get back to it. We'll talk about what we had for food and everything. So food. We'll get back to food. So I had the spicy nuggets. They're just as good as they used to be.
I'm gonna get hungry after this.
Oh
show, aren't
man,
I?
the
Yeah,
spicy
really.
nuggets are so good. I recommend that everybody go to Wendy's and get yourself an order of spicy.
What if it's a vegetarian? What if the person getting is a vegetarian?
Then they're out of luck.
Yeah.
I guess.
Sorry.
There isn't like veggie spicy.
The world isn't
nugs.
suited for you. Sorry.
I'm sorry that it's not like the Impossible Burger at
Well,
Burger King.
Before the Impossible Burger, Burger King actually had a veggie burger.
yeah, and it was trash.
I wouldn't try that.
It was like the scariest looking thing.
You'd have to pay
I've
me
ever
to
seen.
eat that.
Yeah, you'd have to pay me.
Seriously.
You'd have to pay me a lot of money.
Holy smokes.
Oh man, you'd have to pay me a lot of money. I remember they messed up my order once, and they gave me like the veggie patty, and I had no idea, and I bit into my burger, and I was like, and I just like immediately spit it out, and it had like little green and red like
Well, yeah,
globs
it's a
in
veggie
it.
burger. It's not real
No,
meat.
no. Ugh.
Get out of here, dude! Trash. Blah.
Oh man,
But this Impossible Burger that everyone's ranting
the
and
Impossible
raving
Burgers are
about.
really good. I've had it.
This Impossible Whopper. Part of me
Uh.
wants to like do the Whopper challenge.
What's the Whopper challenge?
That
I'll do it.
Supposedly, I don't know what it is, but
Whatever it is, I'll do it.
it's
Yeah.
but like
I'm all.
they
for food
have like a
challenges.
thing called the Whopper challenge where it gives you both Whoppers and like a fry and a drink or something.
So it's just 2 Whoppers?
You get 2 Whoppers and
That's
like
nothing.
what?
No, 2 Whoppers. Is
You're
nothing.
talking to a guy that my McDonald's order is 3/4 pounders and a 10-piece nugget.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with you.
And even
Holy crap.
after that, I'm like, I could probably get a little
And you're
more.
talking to a fat dude here.
Yeah.
What is going
Yeah,
on?
These fast food burgers.
So if
are
the
not
Whopper
filled,
challenge
though.
is 2 Whoppers,
I
that's
can
like
do that.
that's a
Whoppers
snack.
are huge though.
No,
That's
they're
a
not.
snack.
I could
That's- yeah.
destroy like 2 Big Macs easy.
Oh yeah.
I think you guys are nuts. But the Big Macs have those tiny, tiny little patties, and the Big Macs suck. Big Macs are the worst.
No, they're better than Whoppers.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. You're talking about little itty bitty. The Big Mac patties are like that big.
No, they're not.
Yes, they're so
Wait,
tiny.
wait. Let's do this. Let's do our own food challenge for fast food. How about that?
All right, let's do it.
What?
Whatever the challenge is, I'm ready.
We figure out some kind of food challenge regarding fast food places for all the major fast food places and figure out our own food challenge.
Yeah, I do like a blind test or something.
Yeah, either a blind test or
I'm doing this. I'm
whatever.
gonna do this impossible challenge. Maybe Maybe.
I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. We
Where
should
you
do that.
try both burgers and you see which ones. Obviously, you're gonna know. You bite both burgers and you see if it tastes the same. I'm gonna say it's not. I don't believe what they say. I don't care what anybody says. It does.
No,
You'll taste the difference.
I can tell you can definitely taste.
You'll
the difference.
taste the difference.
probably can.
I don't. I don't believe
You can.
when somebody's whoa, they're biting the burger and they're losing them, like their eyes are rolling back in their head, like the Undertaker. Like this burger's great. Get the hell out of here. It's gonna
Well,
be
those
trash.
are paid actors. Yeah.
Well, they should pay me, and I won't
All right, man.
over embellish.
Reach
I'll
out
be
to them.
honest.
Yeah.
I'll bite it and I'll be like, it's not bad.
Yeah.
You know? And if it's good, I'll, just like me eating spicy nuggets, like if it's good, I'll be honest with it. I'll be like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever had.
We'll periscope it and we'll throw it up on YouTube.
Periscope?
Oh, there you
Is
go.
that still a thing?
Yeah, of course. Because I
Hmm.
don't think we can do that on Twitch
Why not?
because it's eating. Well, actually, I think you can eat. I think there is a food and drink category on Twitch, oddly enough. But
So beside getting spicy nuggets, which was heavenly, I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's 9th film. I am a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, so if you listen to the show, you know that he's my favorite director. All of his movies I love. Going into this, I was super excited for it. I saw it in 35 millimeter opposed to digital because that's how he intended it to be seen.
okay.
And I think that you should see it on film opposed to seeing it in digital. It looks better, in my opinion.
Did you have to choose at the theater, or did
I went to a theater that was showing it in
Okay.
35, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they had both, but I chose to see it in 35, yeah. Because that's the way he intends you to see it. That's the reason why he's quitting directing relatively soon, because he hates digital, like, movies. He wants to keep it on film, and it's getting harder and harder for him to make it on film, so
Sure.
that's I mean, I don't know if he'll ever truly, like, he says it. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I tend to believe him, though. He's like, this dude, if anybody's a film nerd, like we were talking about, like the Academy and stuff,
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino's like the essence, like he is the definition of a film nerd, and he just
Yeah.
loves film, and the digitalness is killing him. But the movie, as you said, it's called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's not necessarily, it is about Hollywood, but it isn't. It's more about like an actor like trying to get back to prominence, but it's also dealing with actual historical events with Quentin Tarantino's own touch on it, kind of like what he did with Inglourious Bastards. It's really good. I liked it a lot. It's not his best film.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I think maybe I'd have to see it again. I don't know. It's good. It's really good. I loved it a lot. I'd probably put it in. It's probably in like the middle of like his films. Like it'd probably be like, his 5th best or something
Yeah.
like that. It's in the middle of like. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It's like right in the middle of like his films.
Sure.
So I really liked it. Leonardo DiCaprio was amazing. Brad Pitt stole the show. I thought he was really good in the film. He was maybe the best part of the film. It was really good. There was some action. It was also like lately with how Quentin Tarantino's films have been, it's more comedy, I guess, like more.
Yeah.
It's a lot more funny, like dark funny in a way. But it's really good. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of Quentin Tarantino, if you're a fan of, a look at like a period piece, because it's like set in like the 60s. So if you're into like, seeing what Hollywood was like in the 60s, or what it is like a day in the life of a down and out actor trying to get back to prominence, it's a movie for you. Or if you just love Quentin Tarantino and his,
Yeah.
sick humor, then you're going to love it too. You also get a really cool look at Bruce Lee in the film. So
Okay.
if you like Bruce Lee,
Yeah. Sure.
you get a nice look at Bruce Lee. So it was good. I liked it a lot. Just like I said, it just wasn't his best film, but it wasn't his worst. It was good. Really good. Good addition to his film repertoire. So
Yeah.
I look forward to see what his final, because he says his last film will be his 10th film. So he's supposedly doing one more film and he's out.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
He's been talking about maybe doing like a Kill Bill Volume 3.
I'd be down for that.
And I'm like,
Yeah. I'd be down for that.
Okay. I don't know if it's going to happen, though, because I think him and Uma Thurman are on not good terms.
No,
right now.
she's not happy with him.
She's not just the whole, not necessarily him. She's not happy with him, but it's more so the whole, the Harvey Weinstein and all. She's unhappy with the whole situation.
Right.
So I don't know. Even though he's not with Weinstein anymore, I don't know if they'll. I don't know.
They might be able to, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
We'll see.
they haven't been on great terms, but I would love a Kill Bill Volume 3. So we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back to talk Terrificon, our time at Mohegan Sun, and what we did this past weekend. So stay tuned.
Have you always wanted to make your own podcast? Or had dreams of becoming the next social media influencer? Don't let office space and equipment be what gets between you and your dreams. New studio space is now available through the Go Network. The Go Network is a multimedia broadcast company that currently hosts live radio shows and podcasts. With microphones to fit all guests, the ability to video record interviews, a stage for band performances, and an editing suite to put your audio and video content to the next level. The Go Network will provide assistance with producing, editing, sponsorship outreach, marketing, and more. You can create the podcast or web series you want with the lower price tag. Visit our studio location in Norwood or our audio suite in Canton. For more information, call us at 857-445-0424 or email us at info@gonet.com. That's info@GEAUXNET.com.
Does your computer seen better days? Is it always freezing and lagging? Are you constantly plagued with pop-ups and viruses? Are you not able to get any work done? You don't need a new computer. You need Phoenix Technology Support. With just one call to Phoenix Technology Support, you will never have to stress over the hassles of taking your computer to a repair shop again. Just leave your computer right where it is and let us come directly to you. Phoenix Technology Support has over 10 years of experience in the industry of customer support and IT solutions, and it's the best place for help with all of your home or business electronics. From gaming systems to tablet setups, smartphones to smart TVs, even business servers and emails. We will help set up or troubleshoot almost any technology in your home or office. So next time you think your technology is at the end of its life, have it rise from the ashes like a phoenix by calling Phoenix Technology Support at 617-658-3240. That's 617-658-3240, or go to www.phoenixtechboston.com.
Aren't you tired of your plain white walls? Do you ever wonder why you feel uninspired at the office or feel like your home lacks character? It's always the same boring walls over and over again. Well, it's time for a change. Visit walldecor3d.com and order wall panels that will turn your walls into beautiful and extravagant looking accent walls. The 3D wall panels give an extra dimension and complement just about any room. Their current selection includes plant fiber wall paneling, MDF wood wall panels, mosaic real wood paneling, and thin slate stone veneer. Remember, that's walldecor3d.com. Order now and add some depth to your life.
Hey Dan, you're a gamer. What is the comfort level of where you are playing?
Comfort does not exist in the gaming world. After several hours, you push through the pain.
You need Edge.
Edge?
Extended duration gaming equipment. Do you like your headset?
Let me guess. I have to drop hundreds of dollars for the newest, most comfortable headset.
No, sir. Keep your headset and let Edge make it better. Add a soft top made from 100% plush sheepskin wool to eliminate top-of-the-head pressure.
So I can keep my lucky headset?
Keep them and your backups, but let Edge give them an upgrade. What about the seating arrangements?
At a tournament, you get a metal folding chair, which is great if I want to knock out a professional wrestler. Terrible if I have to sit in it for hours at a time.
Just like Edge upgraded your headset, now they're going to upgrade your chair with Soft Seat. No more fidgeting around trying to get comfortable, no more pain in your back, shoulders, and butt. Turn any chair into a comfortable gaming station. Go to edgeprogaming.com, type in the code GONETWORK, and receive discounts on your entire purchase. Take your gaming to the edge. When I'm feeling sluggish, I'm not looking for the jittery feeling of coffee. I'm reaching for Neurosonic, the only energy drink I trust to keep me going. Neurosonic is just one of the great drinks in the neurofunctioning beverages line. When I'm stressing an interview, Neuro Bliss keeps me cool, calm, and collected. And when it's time to call it a night, I don't want sleeping pills and all the crazy after effects you hear about. I want Neuro Sleep to help me drift off to dreamland. Neuro drinks are surprisingly low calorie and full of the healthiest and most efficacious vitamins and minerals. Artificial flavors and colors don't work for them, and neither should they for you, so they don't allow them in their drinks. To find a store near you that carries Neuro, go to drinkneuro.com or visit amazon.com to order a 12-pack. Neuro, drink with a purpose.
Are you in need of stickers, be it for personal or business use? Then you need to go to stickeru.com right now. That's stickeryou.com. Sticker U is passionate about providing you and your business with the highest quality custom stickers, labels, decals, and iron-ons. They can even make you temporary tattoos. If you want to stick out from the competition, then you need Sticker U, as Sticker U provides the best platform in the world to create custom products that make you stick.
In a world filled with many distractions, wouldn't it be incredible to find a way to get lost in your own choosing? Do you love to hear crisp audio from your favorite podcasts? Have you ever felt like the soundtrack to a movie or video game would sound greater if there was a better way to deliver sound? Bear Dynamic closed-back studio headphones are a perfect tool for any sound enthusiast. Plug in your Bear Dynamic headphones and go on an audio escape. The Bear Dynamic DT770 Pro headphones are favorite amongst music producers, sound engineers, and broadcasters all over the world. If you're not prepared to compromise on studio sound, visit www.beardynamic.com. That's www.beardynamic.com and get your own pair now. Whether for home or on the go, it is the right product for every need.
Do you love delicious high-protein snacks? Do you love low sodium? Then you are going to love Skrizzly Adams Beef Jerky. My signature brand of beef jerky has the lowest sodium in the entire marketplace and completely destroys all its competitors in the taste department. Order now at skrizzlyadamsbeefjerky.com. That's SKRIZZLYADAMS beefjerky.com. This is American recording artist Skrizzly Adams, and I guarantee you're going to love my meat.
You know that wonderful 90s X-Men theme. It's time to talk things in the world of comic books. And this past weekend, we went to the greatest con on the East Coast, Terrificon. We've been hyping it up all year, having Mitch on the show, talking about it. And we're going to let you know what we thought about it. Did it deliver? Everything that happened this weekend at Connecticut's #1 Comic-Con, Terrificon. So it was this past Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that was what, the 9th, 10th, and 11th?
Yep.
Right? 9th, 10th, and 11th. So we got there right on time, I think. We went in almost right as it opened. So Friday, from 2 to 8 p.m. I think Friday was maybe the day we were there least, like, at the con, because we were kind of just, like, setting up the hotel or, whatever. So Friday night was probably the least amount of stuff. We looked around at the items and the stuff. There was a really cool T-shirt place. I think we waited too long to pull the trigger on it.
Maybe a little bit.
Granted,
yeah.
It still worked out.
Yeah.
But I thought about it, like, we might have, because there were definitely cool shirts, like, the first day we looked.
Yeah.
And I think we waited too long to pull the
We're
trigger.
like, oh, we'll come back.
Yeah, we kept saying, we'll
fine.
come back.
And we went there on Sunday, and you and I both did, like 3 or 4 laps around it on Sunday? And it was like,
Well, we'll get into the items and everything and the guests and everything. And if it matched up to Mitch's prior cons and all that stuff, so we'll definitely talk about all that. So Friday night, we kind of walked around, looked at items. I looked for comic books. There was a few sets of comic books that kind of caught my eye a little bit, but nothing really set me on fire. I was looking for past issues in the last year or so and Ninja Turtles from the past, the latest run, the IDW Ninja Turtles, which can get pretty pricey. So those were kind of what I was looking for was recent Ninja Turtles in the past, I think 2015 they started, or 14, something like that. The most recent Ninja Turtles and a lot of DC books. So all the current DC books, I'm missing books from like 40 to 60.
Okay.
So all those issues. So those are my goals. Those
Yeah.
current DC Rebirth issues and those Ninja Turtles issues. So, and again, I have a tendency to walk around and look for stuff and be like, I'll come back. Like, I always want to see, like, because I hate buying something and then you buy something and then you find something, which kind of happened to me, towards the end, where you buy something and then you're just like, okay, I guess I'll get this. And then you'll see something at the end, you're just like, damn it. Like, now I don't have as much money, or I can't afford it, or whatever. Or I just spent this. I'm not going to spend this. So Friday, I think we spent the least amount at the con. We went to one panel at the convention. Let me see if I can still. I don't know if he still has the panels up,
I have no idea.
but I want to.
It's a long list.
It is a long list. Nope, I have it on my phone though. So deal with it. I'm using my phone on air.
Yeah. Great radio.
Yeah, great radio.
Yeah. Awesome.
But I want to tell you. I want to tell you the panels.
No, there were a lot on Saturday.
So
that's
I
for
think
sure.
this was probably the most panels he's ever had.
It seemed that way.
The most panels he's ever had. He went hardcore with panels.
He did.
There were 3 panel rooms.
Yep.
There was panel room A, panel room B, and then the Peeping Frog
The
room.
Peeping Frog run. I
Which
know. We
I
kept
don't know where
screwing up that name.
I don't know where that is.
I don't know either. We never found the Peeping Frog.
Don't know where the
Yeah.
Peeping Frog room is.
Nope.
So
We didn't peep that room.
opening night, there was. So these were the panels for the opening night. We only went to one.
Mhm.
Lost Marvel magazines of the 70s. If you were
Sure,
into those, sure. Cosplay panel, cosplay and social media. But it was in the Peeping Frog room, so I was like,
so
sorry,
yeah.
Peep. Then we had romance in comics with Barbara Freelander.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
and you think I do?
No, I'm just saying I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that person in my life. Then we had cosplay, diversity in cosplay.
Right.
Okay, kind of cool. But again, in the Frog.
Yeah.
Then we had a book of Weirdo with John B. Cook.
Okay.
Again, don't know who that is. Then we had Howard Chaykin, still has something to say. We had DIY comic book creating with writer George O'Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Again, don't know who that is.
Right.
And that was also in the Peeping Frog room. And then we had Doctor Who 101. So if you're a fan of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So what caught my eye in all those, I like Howard Chaykin. I think he's a cool dude. He had a really good run. Well, he doesn't agree. On Star Wars in like the late 70s, early 80s, something like that, which is still being sold today. You can still pick up those past issues, and a lot of people still really enjoy them.
Yeah.
So we went to the Howard Chaykin panel, and I think this was maybe the panel you liked the most. Or it was up there for you.
It was definitely up there. Yeah.
So we went to 6 panels in total. Usually I try to go to a panel or two every day when I go to TrivCon or any con if I'm there multiple days. This was definitely the most panels I've been to at a convention. So it definitely pushed me to my limits of panels.
Yeah, it was a lot, but
so we recorded them all. We recorded all 6 panels that we went to, and we'll be putting them up on YouTube and all that stuff. So you can see these panels if you didn't get a chance to go to TrivCon. But if you didn't, shame on you. You should have been there.
Yeah.
So the first panel, again, was Howard Chaykin Still Has Something to Say. It was basically just Howard Chaykin talking about how he feels about the current state of comic books and, how he feels. He hates a lot of he hated a lot of people that were at TrivCon.
Yeah.
He was not a fan of a lot of the writers and, people that were at TrivCon. He's not a fan of the current state of superhero comics. He's not a fan of Batman showing his penis.
Nope.
He is not a fan of a lot of things currently at
superheroes with quote-unquote excrement coming out of their eyes, as he described it.
Yep. He was very foul-mouthed. He was very... He lets you know at the beginning, like, if there are kids here, like, get them out of here. Like, you're not going to have a good time.
Nope.
He's a very crusty dude. He seems like you'd think that he's not a happy... He seems like he's content with everything.
Oh, yeah.
He just hates things.
He's just very cynical.
And and he was very real about everything.
He was.
Where some people in the industry will tell you, oh, I love the fans, I love this, I love that, and then they wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire.
Sure.
He lets you, the realness of. Sadly, I did not find his table. Where was he?
Yeah, I couldn't find him
Where
either.
was he?
Yeah.
I looked all over for him. Where the hell was he?
I couldn't find him either. Yeah.
Where was he?
I only saw him the very last day we were there, but he was at someone else's table,
Where-
just kind of chatting with him.
Right.
He wasn't.
I
yeah.
wanted to hand him a card. I
Yeah.
would have loved to have him on the show.
Yeah.
Where the hell was Howard
I
Chaykin?
don't know. Yeah.
Where was he?
I think he was just kind of floating around. He was doing the Charles Soule thing from last year, where he was like floating
Yeah.
around. You'd see him every now and then, but he'd never stay still.
Like running, trying to find Charles Soule last year
oh, it
was
was a nightmare.
Yeah. He was legitimately at everybody else's
He was
table.
the Phantom of Terrificon.
Yeah,
like,
he
you couldn't
really
find
was.
Him.
He really was.
Yeah.
Chaykin might have him beat because I didn't even see him.
No, yeah.
I saw
Like
him at
said,
that panel. I never saw him again.
Saw him
So
on Sunday. That was it.
at least you saw him. I never saw him. I was looking all around when we did those multiple loops. He was one of the main guys I was looking for.
Yeah.
I never even saw like a sign for him.
No, I didn't either.
Nothing. Where was Howard Chaykin?
Yeah.
So his piano was really good. It was. I want to say if you're a big time superhero comic fan, you might have not have enjoyed
You
it.
may not have liked him.
You might
Yeah.
not have liked it. I found it very interesting. I liked hearing him talk. He's very good with his words. He's easily captivates you.
Yeah.
And it was he barely talked about his, career. He didn't really talk about his time with Marvel or DC.
No.
He barely talked about Star Wars. He mentioned it, talking about how he barely makes money off it and the run was trash,
Yeah.
which a lot of people disagree with him on. And he just talked about how he really hates superhero comics right now and
Yeah.
what they've become.
And he hates the movies too. And then when he described why he hates them, he literally pointed at the audience and goes, and by the way, that's your fault.
Yeah.
It's like, he's right, though.
So that was our Friday. We kind of just walked around, looked at stuff that we didn't buy, or that I definitely didn't buy.
Yeah.
And we went to this panel. We didn't really talk to anybody. I didn't hand out cards or anything that Friday night because, unfortunately, I forgot them.
Not one of John's better moments.
Yeah, not one of my better moments. It was a bad time, but Dimitri did come and save the day, but we'll come back to that. So Friday, our only panel. Good. I guess it was a productive Friday, I guess, somewhat. I mean, I feel like it was our least day. We didn't really do that much. We went to Game On Friday night, right?
No, that was Michael Jordan's.
No, we went to Game On after though.
Oh yeah, we did.
We went.
That
so
was our
so
after
for
thing, yeah.
dinner, we chose to go to Michael Jordan's restaurant, like 23 restaurant.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical on it because I remember the one time I went to Michael Jordan's before, I was not impressed. I was
Okay.
not impressed. So we kind of went there. We were just like, oh, where are we gonna eat? Let's pick something. Let's just get something. So we picked Michael Jordan's, and I chose to get a burger. Jason chose to get a
French dip.
that looked like a steak and cheese.
Yeah, really. Yeah, might as well have been a steak and cheese.
So I got this breakfast burger that had bacon, an egg, and just basically breakfast food on it. And it had a style of burger that I've never heard of before. Let me see, what was it?
it was a special kind of beef.
Yeah, I just want to get the name right.
Yeah, it was some
It was called Wagyu, Wagyu. So when I first saw it on the menu, I was like, "What the hell's this?" Like, I don't know. I don't want to I never heard of this. So
Yeah.
I wanted to look it up. So I looked up my phone and everything. I was just like, who knows if it's like some kind of burger that has onions in the meat, or I don't know,
Yeah.
some kind of crazy I don't know, or it's like pork or something. It's not really beef or something. I had to look it up. So I found out that this Wagyu is a tastier beef than Kobe beef. It's like a Japanese beef. It's
yeah.
raised from Japanese cattle that eat better than we do. They get sung to at night before they go to bed. They're just
They get
treated very
pampered,
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the their lives are better than ours.
Probably.
Yeah, they're treated very well. And it's very expensive. It's extremely expensive. So I got this burger, and I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. So I got the burger, and I remember biting into it, and I was just like, And then I just ate it so quickly. And then I realized, I was like, that was probably the best burger I've ever had in my life. Like, you know how sometimes you'll bite into a burger, and here we are talking about food again. You'll bite into a burger, and it'll be kind of chewy in the wrong places. Or it'll be a little gritty, or it'll be, there's never a perfect burger. Well, this was the perfect burger, I think.
Apparently.
It was very lean. It was very tasty, very flavorful. It was just really, really good. So I looked into it more and stuff, and I was like, if this beef's good, imagine what a steak tastes like.
Right, yeah.
So I started looking up steak and everything. Jeez. So I'm just looking at some right now. $1,050 for one slab of Wagyu beef here.
Jeez.
So it's extremely pricey meat. So we were looking at the steaks, and I was like, what would a steak be? Because I want to try this. Like, this might be life-changing, And we were looking at the menu, and a single 12-ounce Wagyu steak was $65.
Yeah.
65
balloons. Yep.
for this steak. And after eating that burger, I'd think about it. Normally, I'd be like, forget it.
I don't know.
But I'm telling you, if you ate this burger,
maybe if I ate it, I'd feel differently. But nah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But think about it. Okay, so you buy whatever you bought. It was probably what? It was like 18.
Yeah,
Six,
somewhere around there. Yeah.
And then a drink is like ends up being like $20, almost $30.
Yeah.
So it's like, screw it, just get the steak. Maybe the steak will change your life. You
Maybe.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I didn't do it. I thought about it, didn't do it though. And then there was an option to get 2 steaks. It was like $170 or something.
There was some crazy option.
And then there was another option that was like $258
got 3 different
for a
slices
12-ounce steak, a 10-ounce steak, and a 6-ounce steak.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know. Like I said, I'd probably never.
Yeah.
I really want to. I don't think so.
No.
So I'm reading here. It says, they massage them.
Oh yeah.
They get massaged.
Okay.
Yeah.
They get spa days.
Massage the cattle. Yeah.
God.
Yep. So they get massaged. So these get massaged. They get sung to. They get the best quality food. So, yeah. So if you like Kobe beef, I thought it tasted much better than any Kobe I've had. So it was excellent. And then you got the
I got the French dip,
sandwich,
which was good.
but it was more like they kind of messed it up, and it was
a lot of cheese on it. Yeah,
more like a cheese steak.
But I will say the gin and tonic I got, cucumber gin and tonic that tasted like fresh cucumber water, which is extremely dangerous because I couldn't taste the gin. But
so I had a quick sip of it, and I don't like gin and tonic. Generally, I'll sip it, and I'm like,
yeah.
I sipped it, and I was like,
it was really good.
It was really good. That's scary. If you had a couple of those, you might be toast.
It tasted like fresh cucumber water, so I could have had like 5 of those
just
before them. And
them back.
Just probably wouldn't have noticed that there was alcohol in them until I tried to stand up.
So then finally we ended our night going to their new barcade called Game On. They had a good amount of arcade games. We did not play games night 1. We kind of just looked around, and then we just drank a bunch of beer.
Yeah.
And then Dimitri came and saved the day because all of our cameras were dead because we did not have a charger or extra batteries. So Dimitri came, saved the day, brought cards, brought batteries, brought an extra camera, and got a half dozen of Krispy Kremes. Did they last the ride?
They did.
Okay, wow.
That's surprising.
I only had 2 of them that
wow!
night.
Wow,
on the
that's
way back.
discipline.
Well, because I realized that by the time I ate the second one, my stomach started to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I took
no.
it
They
off.
will have that effect too. Yeah.
So I actually spread out the eating through the next couple days.
Okay. All
Probably
right. Well,
smart.
did they hold up?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, they're just pure sugar, so yeah, they hold.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I feel like if you had them for a day, they'd get like a little hard.
No, generally Krispy Kreme, 3 days, I'd say.
Because Dunks,
Dunks doesn't last long. No.
you buy a donut in the morning and you don't eat it until like now, it'd
It's
be
a
hard.
brick. It's a
yeah,
brick,
it'd be
yeah.
trash. You could not save Dunks
No,
for.
Krispy Kreme, you still they're
Oh, that's
generally
good.
they can last.
That's good. So that was our night 1. And then day 2, we decided that we were going to do a lot of panels.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to read through all the panels because there are so many panels on Saturday.
There were a ton on Saturday.
There
yeah.
were
I was gonna say over 10, right?
like 24, 25.
Yep.
There was a lot of panels.
Oh,
A
yeah,
ton of
yeah.
panels. They started at 11 and they went to 6 p.m. So day 2 of the con went from 10 to 7. Normal con hours, normal Saturday hours. Something that I guess kind of let me down a little bit. Slightly let me down. There was no after party this year.
Right.
So generally, Mitch has a pretty sweet after party with some very nicely priced beer, and he'll have some kind of like nerd band or something play, or some kind of comedians doing whatever, some con relevant thing
Yeah.
at this party, and there'll be like games that you can play like life-size Jenga and a bunch of like outside games and stuff like that, the bag game, the bean bags,
Yeah, cornhole.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I was kind of surprised he didn't have an after party this year. Usually the after parties are really fun. They're pretty good. Some area has a DJ, some area has a band, some area has both, and I was just like, no after party, Mitch? Like, what's going on, dude? Like, why no after party?
Yeah.
So next time we have him on, I'm gonna have to ask him, like, what was going on?
What happened there? Yeah.
Maybe it was just too much with like Chris Tucker being there, and
Maybe.
I don't know.
There was a
'cause
lot going on,
Saturday night,
yeah.
Chris Tucker was there. Buck Cherry was there.
Buck Cherry. We heard a little bit of Buck Cherry.
Buck Cherry
yeah.
was rocking out.
We actually heard them playing like one of their more
like
famous
the-
songs as we were going through. It's
like
oh.
one of the hits, like
Yeah,
one
it's
of their
like, okay.
2 or 3 hits.
Yeah.
So no after party. So that was slightly a little disappointing to me.
Yeah.
And so then we decided to. I'm gonna say, I also didn't talk to as many people this year as I normally would. Granted, there was a lot of people that I was excited about,
Yeah.
but there wasn't a lot of people that got me like I wanted to actually like sit and have a conversation with them.
Right.
Like I wanted to sit and like talk with them for a while. Like last year, I felt there was a few people that I really wanted to sit down and talk to, and I did kind of for a little bit. This year, I feel like also too, I was in more like I'm in business. I wasn't trying to have fun, I guess, when it came to the con.
Yeah.
Like I was more on like getting content for the show, recording these panels, going to these panels, making sure everything worked out. So I feel like I kind of didn't have a lot of like, not that the con's fault, it was my own fault that I didn't have as much fun as I normally do because I was so focused on filming and getting stuff and
Yeah, sure.
stuff like that. So I don't know. This year was, I don't know why I didn't have it. Generally, I try to make it a little even in both, but this year was more so just business, I guess, which I don't know. Doesn't really work out. So day 2, we started off with the Steranko panel.
Yep.
Jim Steranko, a legend in the business.
Yep.
So if Howard Chaykin's that crusty, angry, like cynical guy, Jim Steranko is
The exact
the
opposite.
exact opposite.
Yep.
Like a boisterous, like super talkative, wants to like tell you crazy stories, wants to
Yeah.
tell you everything about his life. He was a bodybuilder, a rock star,
A boxer. He was an art producer.
Art producer.
Yep.
He was a
Movie producer.
ad agency guy. He
Yep.
was a movie producer. He was, anything you
everything.
could think of. Steranko
He
did.
did it, yeah.
Steranko did everything. Like he is like legitimately like the word jack of all trades comes
Yeah.
from Steranko. Like
Yeah.
it was like so he opens up telling you so the best thing was originally the panel was supposed to start at noon.
Yeah.
They switched the panel times, I guess,
Yeah.
to make it start at 1.
Right.
I guess Steranko chose to still try to come at 12,
Yeah.
but either they didn't let, because I feel like he would have came in and talked. I don't know why he didn't come in. He was
Yeah.
out there that whole time.
Right. It was. Yeah.
So I don't know. Or,
It was weird.
Or
It was a
maybe it was
weird-
like the dude who was
The moderator.
the word balloon dude, like
Yeah.
was late. I think like he
well,
made some.
he was. Yeah.
He was off.
He was off.
He
yeah.
made some joke that it was like having that dream where you go to school naked, kind of.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he asked Steranko like how he got started and everything. And the panel was over an hour and a half.
Yeah. It was a long panel.
And I'd say about an hour or 45 minutes of it
Yeah.
was Steranko telling you how he got his first job at
Yeah.
Marvel.
Really. That was the whole. That was
That
it.
was the whole
Yeah.
hour, and it was crazy because he told you how he went to Timely Comics. He went to every comic back in the day, like the Archie comics, DC comics. He told you every comic that he went to and how he turned them all down.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, Jim, like
Yeah. it's like,
okay. And then finally, like him ending up joining Marvel and writing Nick Fury back in the day.
Yeah.
So, and how like his character Super Agent X was picked up by Paramount.
Right.
I don't know if they renamed it. Because I've never heard
I
that
have
character.
no idea. Yeah.
But I believe him.
Yeah. Sure.
And then he goes to tell you a story about how he was out at a bar or a restaurant.
I believe he was at a bar.
And
It was a little hard to keep up with this one.
it was
I'll
hot.
be real.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I believe he was at a bar.
And you can be the judge of this when we post it up on YouTube. You
Yeah.
can watch it.
You'll hear the story. It's
He's at a bar and he has a misunderstanding with bikers, I think.
bikers. Yeah.
And he ends up going on this like rampage.
Yeah.
Kind of. He's breaking sinks and trying to run away from them because they're
Well-
trying to beat his ass.
Right. So he drew a gun on one of them.
Yeah.
Right at the bar.
Okay.
It was like because I remember the part where he said I held it just under the bar so the bartender couldn't see it, but this guy could.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he was like, make another move. And then I kind of got like a little sidetracked after that, but the next thing I know, he's talking about locking himself in the bathroom and stomping on all the sinks to break them. I don't know why he was doing that.
He just wanted to be a dick, like
I don't
flood
know.
the bathroom.
And
like,
he wanted to like escape out of the bathroom to get away from them because they were chasing him, which led to him getting into a car, and then it would turn into a car chase.
Yeah, and then he tried like slicing off the dude's fingers.
Right.
with,
So
with
and
a
one of
sharp
the guys,
silver dollar,
one of the guys grabbed onto like his window as he was pulling out.
as
of the
he was
parking
like,
lot.
blowing in the wind, hanging onto the
And if-
car.
And if you're wondering what did he cut the guy's fingers off with, it was a silver dollar
That was sharpened.
that he had sharpened that he always kept with him, and he used that to file the guy's fingers off.
Did he actually get the fingers off?
Yeah,
So he did. The fingers
because
were
what
gone.
he said is he's like, every time I drive down that street now, I keep looking for the guy's fingers to see if they're still there. So it was
Damn.
it was a wild ride with Steranko.
Yeah,
it was
a crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, we didn't really. If you didn't know who Steranko was, and you were just, I don't know why you'd be at his panel, but somehow if you were like coerced into going with a friend that did know him, you really didn't know anything beside that he worked for Marvel and DC at
Right.
one point,
Yeah,
and that he wrote Nick Fury at one point.
yeah.
You had no idea, like,
Other than that, yeah, no.
no idea
That was it.
beside that.
Yep.
So then we went to we watched the Donny Cates panel.
Yep.
Donny Cates is currently writing the next event at Marvel, which is called Absolute Carnage. So a little bit too close to War of the Realms in my opinion, but I am excited for it. I am going to read it. So that's where he's currently writes Venom. He writes Guardians of the Galaxy. So he's got a good list of comics that he's writing. So he's probably Marvel's newest, hottest writer. Like their hottest writer right now. Like he's writing Cosmic Ghost Rider. He's writing Silver Surfer. So he's writing a lot of stuff. He's really hot right now. You know, he's like he's the up and comer for Marvel. So they had a panel talking about like his current career, his indie books, his dream of writing Spider-Man one day. I thought it was a really fun panel. I liked it a lot. It was really funny. He tells a really funny story about Dan Didow, the head of DC, trying to coerce him into leaving Marvel and coming to DC, and he invites him in his office, and there's just a stack of Hondos.
Stack of G's.
Yeah, on his desk, and he to this day he doesn't know like why the Hondos were there.
Yeah.
Like he just brings him in. He's like, hey,
they were there.
He's like, why don't you come to DC and I'll give you Batman.
Right.
And he was just like, no, I'm gonna stay at Marvel. Like, so I don't know. That was a really cool panel. I was kind of surprised he did turn down Batman, but I probably wouldn't have wanted to come after Scott Snyder. But then again, he went on Doctor Strange after Jason Aaron, so that was probably not a fun time in the beginning for him. And then we went to Tom King, his panel on All the King's Batman was the panel's name.
Yeah.
I'm not a Tom King guy. If you listen to the show, you know that. Tom, if you're listening, sorry, bro. Not a fan of his Batman. I think it's trash. I think it's some of the worst Batman I've ever read. I honestly don't know why I keep buying it.
I was gonna say, I mean, you keep reading it, so.
Well, I don't. I have it.
Yeah.
I keep buying it, but I haven't read it. It's up to like issue like 70 something, and I've read to like issue 23.
Yeah.
I haven't read it since because it kind of sucks. But I just keep buying. I don't know why I keep buying it. I guess I just don't have like, because it's Batman. It's like I don't want to cancel Batman. Like I don't know. It's like I don't want to let Batman down, I guess.
Sure.
But I guess his panel was okay. Like his other work's not bad. Like I only really don't like him because of Batman. Like his Vision story was really good. He wrote a really good Dick Grayson story for a while. I heard he did a great Miracle Man. Miracle Man's not my style, so I haven't read it. But he's done a lot of really good stuff before Batman. But now the Batman's there, it just sucks. And he talked about Batman a little bit. He also wrote DC's Last Event, too, which really sucked. He made Wally West a mass murderer, so awesome. So his panel was okay. I mean, if you're a fan of Tom King, you're really going to like it. If you're not, you're probably not going to like it because he's a little smug.
Yeah.
He's a little smug.
Maybe a little bit.
I thought he was a little smug. And the fact that he almost like fought with a fan. Like,
oh, yeah.
The fan was like, you wrote this trash part of Batman and calling him out on it, kind of. And instead of being like, oh, whatever, like, he, like, legitimately, like, argued back with the fan to the point where, like, the host was, like, had to, like, almost break it up, kind of.
Yeah.
And then the fan ended up going up to the stage, like, after the panel and, like, argued more with them. And he, like, sat there arguing with them for, like, another couple minutes.
Yeah, I missed that. I must not have been paying
yeah,
attention.
the
but,
dude walked right up to the stage,
Oh.
and he stayed there, like, off to the corner, arguing with him while the other person was setting up. Like, they were, like, I don't know, but they were, like, having a heated discussion. I don't know if they got, like, an argument, but they were, like, they were in a debate. So then we ended up, so then that was our Saturday. Then we kind of went around. We handed out some cards and stuff. And then we ended up going to Frank Pepe's, which is supposedly the best pizza in Connecticut. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it.
A little underwhelmed.
I liked the charred cooking of, like, the crust and stuff. It was tasty, but I thought their bacon was trash.
Bacon wasn't good.
Their bacon was very soggy and was not good.
Yeah.
Their sausage was pretty good. It was good. I liked it. A lot of people tell me I got to try the pepperoni. Jason's not a pepperoni kind of guy.
No.
A lot of people were telling me we should have went half and half. We should have did half pepperoni, half something else.
Yeah.
And I was
done
like,
that.
whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the pepperoni isn't. I'm sure it's not that mind. If it's that mind blowing, like,
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
No.
Like, but I've been told that it's like unlike any pepperoni you've ever had. I'm just like, get out. I don't know about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know about that. But the pizza was good. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever had. It was good. I've had, I don't know. I've had better pizza. It's the style of the pizza. It was good. It was huge. We got a large and we couldn't finish it. So there's your eating challenge, Dimitri. Eat a large Frank Peps.
Yeah. That really will be a challenge.
And then we went back to Game On because we could not find UFC.
No.
We walked all around Mohegan
Wanted
Sun.
to watch the fights. Nowhere had them.
Not one place had them. Probably because it was on ESPN Plus. And we went back to Game On. We actually played games this time. They had a good array of games, but I feel a lot of old stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of old stuff. Some games I've never even heard of. Like that X-Men game.
Yeah.
Was like, looked like Marvel vs. Capcom kind of, but it was just X-Men.
Yeah.
It was like that style of play, like the X-Men side of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
But, just X-Men. So I've never even heard of that. I didn't even know that
No.
existed. And then there was that Street Fighter game.
There was this old ass
Trash.
awful Street Fighter game that I like, Street Fighter Champions or something.
Yeah, and you could only be like a crappy looking Ryu.
Yeah. You didn't get to choose a character. You had to be Ryu. And like the controls were so bad.
It
It was
sucked.
awful. Yeah, that game sucked.
It sucked. And then they had normal Street Fighter 2, and then they had Samurai Showdown, and they had a couple other games. They had Mortal Kombat 4. They had their newest game was they had the newest Mario Kart, which was cool.
Yeah.
And they had Injustice, which is trash.
Yeah, that was bad too.
It cost like a ton of credits, and you only got to play one round.
Yeah.
And then they gave you some fakakta card
Yeah, it was
of
dumb.
Russian Batman or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I mean, the place was fun. It was cool. They had air hockey. They had bowling. It's definitely a cool place, but
See, it was a cool place, but the bar was still the best part of Game On.
yeah,
So I was like,
yeah,
I had more fun just like at the bar than playing the games.
yeah. The
because
games are
the
okay.
selection was just kind of meh.
Right.
so-
It wasn't great. It wasn't like the
So
best selection.
It's still worth checking out because whatever. Like they had a really good beer selection,
yeah, really good beer selection.
so the bar was great.
the
But
food looked good. We didn't eat any food there,
no,
but the food did look tasty. And then finally, day 3, we went to the Jim Starlin panel, which was very good.
Yep.
I thought he was very candid. He answered a lot of questions. He let you know how he is not fans of Marvel anymore. They are not on good terms.
No, he does not like them.
And
No.
he let that be known that
Yep.
he'll never work for
He's
Marvel
never
again.
gonna work with them.
He
Yep.
he'll never. And he kind of gave you his thought process on the movies and that side of it, because I guess the Marvel movies he's still on good terms with the Disney and Marvel movies, but not
Yeah.
necessarily the comic books. And he was telling us how he was in Endgame. He was in that scene where they were in the AA type meeting. He was one
Yeah.
of the people there, and that was really cool. And he was just telling you stuff about Thanos and stuff about creating him and all that stuff, and it was really cool. I thought it was a really good panel. It was up there for maybe my favorite panel of the weekend. And then the final panel was Chris Claremont, the godfather of the X-Men, probably the last person to actually write the X-Men well, or well for a long period of time. And he was kind of, I don't want to say all over the place, but he hit a lot of different things.
Yeah.
He was the one that talked about Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
He got in a game. He randomly got in a Game of Thrones a little bit, but I guess he was trying to explain writing, which was fine. I thought it was a good panel. I would have liked it to be a little bit more. It was advertised as him talking about X-Men and the movies.
Yeah.
He didn't mention the movies at all.
No, you didn't.
He didn't mention the movies at all. He mentioned the books a lot. And he's another one of those guys that he's still on okay terms with Marvel, but they really won't let him do more than like a side story. Like they won't let him write a book anymore for some reason. He didn't really get into it, but he said that they wouldn't really let him write a full book anymore.
Right.
Which is a little disappointing. But the last time he did write a book, it seemed like he lost it a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do.
Could be.
So it wasn't that good. So that was our last panel, Chris Claremont. And then we went around handing out cards, talking to people for a little bit, trying to get people on the show. And then we finally decided we were going to, go in and buy, what we chose to, what we're going to get. So we went back to the T-shirt booth where it had a ton of T-shirts, a good deal for like 2 T-shirts. And we could not find 2 T-shirts we wanted.
No.
It was not there.
Circled around it quite a bit, but
Yeah.
just didn't really find anything.
Either they sold out or they just didn't have them in our size or
Yeah.
whatever. So then I started walking around being like, all right, I want comics. And then I couldn't find any current DC stuff, maybe like an issue or 2, but nothing like a good amount of stuff and nothing that was really goodly priced. And then finally I was going to end up buying the Ninja Turtles because there was a booth that had like a good set of them, but they were high price kind of, and they didn't have like a good sale on them or anything. Like most places, you bought 10, you got 10 free, or you bought like 3 and you got a 4th free, or whatever. Like there was good deals. This place didn't have a deal, and they were all like $6.99 or $7.99, and I was just like, I could probably find them at maybe at a better price, maybe I'm not. As far as I've seen, they're around the same price everywhere. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. So I wasn't going to get anything. I ended up picking up the first issue of Absolute Carnage and got it signed. And then just as we're about to leave, we see a T-shirt booth that I swear was not there.
No, it was a pop-up booth.
Where was that?
Yeah,
it was
I didn't
not
see it
there the whole
previous
weekend.
2 days, but it was like a small pop-up booth.
And it had like the best T-shirts.
Yeah.
It had a bunch of anime T-shirts, a bunch of pop culture T-shirts, some comic book T-shirts, some really cool hats, some really cool wallets, and Jason's wearing the hat that he purchased, and a pretty good deal. They were $25 shirts, but if you bought 2, they gave them to you for like $18.99 or something like that.
Yeah.
Really good deal. So I ended up buying 2 My Hero Academia shirts, which I'm sure you'll see me wear at some time on the show in the future. But it's just like, now I kind of wish I didn't spend money earlier because I would have bought a hat too, or I might have bought a wallet, or I would have spent more. But at that point, I was just like, I can't really spend too much more because I've already spent a good amount.
Yeah.
So, so that was a little disappointing. I don't know if we just missed it. I want to say
We might have, but
I don't.
Yeah.
I want to say they just popped up like the last day
Could
or
be.
something.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just moved and we didn't see them. I don't know. But overall, I thought it was still a great con. I still had a good time, but I don't know if I think guest-wise he had some huge names, but he didn't have a lot of comic-wise now. I'm going on the comic-wise. He had a lot of like legends that were either super hard to approach because they're legends, or maybe didn't want to have anything to do with you, or they were really cool. It was, it's not like where some of the younger dudes like are very approachable. Like Donny Cates was really cool.
Donny Cates was awesome.
He was telling us like, he was like, hey, like hit me up, like, we'll talk about coming on the show. He was like, just don't send me a dick pic. Like, he was really cool. He was really cool. But like a lot of the older guys, like, J. Michael Straczynski was kind of like, I was like, hey, I'd love to have you on the show, and he's like, I'll look into it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, dude, like, clearly you're not going to look into it. Like, unfortunately, as much as I want you on the show, you're probably not looking into it. And then you had Chris Claremont, who was really cool and was like, hey, sure, I'd love to have you on the show. I mean, I'd love to be on the show. Like, here's my card. And then, you had Jim Starlin, who was kind of like in between everything. Like, he was kind of just like, yeah, email me, like kind of like nonchalant about it. So it was like all spectrums. You got people that were kind of like tough about it, people that were really cool about it, people that were kind of like in the middle of it. But there was I didn't have any of those like cool connections that I've had, like the year where I talked to Dan Slott, or talking to Mark Guggenheim, or talking to, Charles Soule, or stuff like that. There also wasn't that like panel that set me on fire too, like the Spider-Man panel a few years ago, or the Marvel panel last year. Like, not saying the panels weren't good; they were good, but there was nothing that I was kind of like, wow, like. I think the placement of everything was really good in this con.
Yep.
As always, Saturday was packed.
Yeah, it was.
It was packed, but there was never a time where I felt congested or like
No,
couldn't
there's
move.
still plenty of room.
Yeah, plenty of room. I felt that it looked like maybe he didn't have as many vendors because he was focusing more on more artists and actors and stuff like that, which we didn't even touch the actors, unfortunately. I don't know. We just never went. We never really messed with it. Either they had a really long line, or which I kind of regret not doing it. I guess I don't know. I partly feel that sometimes actors are tough to like approach. Like either they're gonna be an asshole to you, or they're gonna be awesome. So it's like a 50-50 thing. It's never
know.
just like in between. It's always like either they're great or they suck.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those like. But I kind of wish there was some people that I did talk. He had a ton of voice actors, like the best voice actors in the business, and I didn't really mess with them. So overall, I thought it was still a fantastic convention. I wish there was an after party. I kind of wish I did a little bit more fun, opposed to just focusing on filming or handing out cards. I wish I could have had that, interaction in the past that we've had before. And I don't know. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It wasn't my favorite Terrificon. It was great. It was still a good con. Like overall, I think quality-wise, I think he gave you more quality than in past years. But I just didn't have those experiences that I had in past years.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't. I've had better experiences, and it has nothing to do with how Mitch set it up or any of the con itself. It just didn't work out. It just some years are better than others. So how'd you feel, Jason? What was it like for you for your first full 3 days at Terrificon?
I thought it was fun. I still enjoyed it, even though again, this is sort of a universe I'm not all that familiar with. But the panels were still really fun. They were pretty interesting to listen to. So I agree that it's one of the easier cons to move around at. The floor is walking around the convention floor isn't like tasking like it is at PAX or some of these other ones where it's like you leave PAX like with bruises all around it because like people just elbowing you.
It's like hard to breathe.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So you don't get that here, which is awesome. I thought it was a lot of fun.
There wasn't really a lot of lines too. There was a couple, but for the most part, you could easily walk up to anybody and talk to them. Where like most cons, you either wait in line for a long time, you got to get a ticket, you got to pay,
right?
Whatever. Nothing like that. You didn't have to pay to meet anybody. You didn't have to pay to talk to anybody.
No. I mean, we stood in line for Donny Cates, and we were there for 5 minutes.
5 minutes maybe, and
so
probably the hottest writer right now in comics,
right?
And it was about 5 minutes.
Yeah, so nothing
which
crazy.
Was really cool. Yeah. So nothing crazy. So that was our experience. I would say normally. I would say Terrificon's an A+. For me this year, I'd only give it like a B+, maybe an A-. And again, nothing to Mitch, because I thought he did great. I thought he outdid himself. He had crazy events. Like, you could have had dinner with Steranko.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of different things you could do, with some of the writers and artists and stuff, or some of the voice people, stuff like that. So there was a lot of things you could constantly do that were extracurricular stuff, but there was no after. I don't know. The after party hurts.
You're like bummed out about that. After party.
Yeah, I am because it's usually like some of the best time. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess maybe I'm letting that cloud me a little bit. But great time, and when we have Mitch on, we'll definitely talk to him about it and find out some of his favorite things. But so Terrificon, great con, but this year just. To me, didn't match up to the past maybe, a year or two, unfortunately. So
that happens.
All right. So we went pretty long. Do we want to rush through wrestling or do we want to save it?
You can either quick hit it or save it. I say we save it.
You think so?
There was a lot.
Okay. All right. We'll save it.
We'll save it.
So then, all right. So we'll talk. I guess we'll talk a little bit more of Terrificon then. Because we got another maybe like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, we got like 10 minutes.
So okay. So if you had to give it a grade,
Mm-hmm.
a scale of 1 to 10 or a letter grade, what would you have graded it?
Okay, now I want to preface this by saying I'm grading it as a casual comics fan.
Sure.
So I'm coming at it from a completely different perspective than someone like you or 90% of the people who are going to go to Terrificon.
Sure.
I give it A minus.
Okay.
Yeah, I still had a lot of fun. And I learned the panels I thought were really valuable to someone like me because I don't know who any of these guys are going in.
Right.
But I learn way more about them in a 30, 45-minute panel than I might trying to Google them online.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised too the way that you were able to, because Jason would post up a picture of them while I'd be filming the panel, and your blurbs were pretty good. Like you did, from just hearing from the panel, like I thought you did a really good job. Like
Yeah.
Talking about the writer or their work and stuff like that.
And like that's the biggest takeaway for me is I would recommend Terrificon to someone who, like me, who isn't knowledgeable about comics but wants to be, and you want to learn more about these people and learn more about the work that they did, and if you have like a favorite character and the creator of that character is going to Terrificon, then like you should absolutely go to their panel, go to their table, meet them, stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's invaluable for something like that. So
I think
that
it's
was
one
really
of those things that if you really love somebody's writing or you really love somebody's art, you could technically walk up to them and have like a legit
you could, yeah.
You could sit there and talk to them for like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
It's not like other cons where you get 30 seconds and then you're going to be rushed along by an usher or something.
Not at all,
You have time to actually have a real conversation with these people.
You can definitely sit down, talk to them, let them know how you feel and stuff. So that's something that I always love about Mitch's Con, because I've said this story before, like there was a point in time where I tried to meet Scott Snyder at a bunch of cons, like a few years in a row, and I could never meet him. You either had to have a ticket, or you had to pay extra for him,
Sure.
or you had to, wait in line, and they'd cut the line off at some point. I remember I got to one point, I was the person before about to walk up, and the dude was like, "Sorry, bro,
Yeah.
like you're out of here." So then when Mitch finally had him, like, you didn't have that, like, it was slightly a little different how, because he just had him in his own kind of sectioned off area.
Mm-hmm.
So you did have to kind of like wait in a little bit of a line, but it wasn't like the line never got capped off. You never got so it was pretty sweet. And I don't know, I feel like Mitch always does these really cool things. Like, he did like the dinner with Steranko, which
dinner with that guy would be
yeah, like
oh man.
Mitch was
I said this to you. He's like the Ric Flair of the comic world.
Yes. That's exactly
he
it.
Looks like Ric Flair, he acts like Ric Flair, and he's got stories like Ric Flair.
Yes.
It's seriously.
He would be the Ric Flair of comic books
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. He's like a wild dude. Like
He's always got like a 3-piece suit on. He's a snappy dresser. Like,
yes.
And he's just got so many wild stories that cannot fit into even an hour-and-a-half panel. Like, you'd have to give that guy a full afternoon to get through all his stories. And even
Yeah.
then, he probably wouldn't get through all of them.
Yeah, it was intense. So, they had the dinner with Steranko. I don't know what else they had, because for some reason the site doesn't tell me the events anymore. But he had a bunch of other, like, extracurricular events that you could do. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I love Terrificon, I love Mitch, but this year for me just didn't kind of match up to past years. And that's partly because, like I said, I was focused on content opposed to having a good time. And, that took a little bit out. Also, there wasn't that, I guess there wasn't that writer that I really wanted to sit down and talk to. I mean, there are writers I want to sit down and talk to, but there wasn't that writer that I really had that connection with like I had in past years. So that kind of took away from me a little bit. So what is something for like a fan, like a casual fan?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that Mitch could do to make the con better for you? What could he do to make it an A+ for you?
Oh, man. I don't know. That's hard because like I wouldn't know the first thing about setting up a convention or how hard it is to get certain people to go or anything like that. I don't know. I guess if he can manage to get more mainstream names that are in the comic world but are also linked to other areas, like maybe actors, maybe I don't know, television, movie people, something like that. Just that, because like then a lot of people are getting into comics through movies, through the TV shows. So if you can somehow link those two, get people from both of those universes, then maybe that would help. But again, I don't know how difficult it is to get those people.
So I feel like he's gotten some like actors and stuff, and he's got in the past he's had some, other actors, and this year he didn't really go crazy for actors. Like he had Tony Todd, he had Derek Mears, he had Val Kilmer, which I don't know where Val Kilmer was.
I never saw him.
Yeah, never saw him. Never saw him.
I assume he was there, but
he had this year was kind of like the voiceover year.
Yeah,
like he had the Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain voice guys. He had Phil Lamar. He had Larry Kenny again. He had the voice of Naruto. He had just a ton of Rob Paulson, who did like Ninja Turtles, and a ton of he had a ton of voice actors. So this year was kind of like the voice actor type deal. Like generally he'll have like comic book. Like last year he had Finn Jones, and he had he had a good amount of he had somebody from Stranger Things. He had last year was more of like the television shows, and this year was more of like the anime or voice actors, opposed to TV or movies or whatever. So he kind of usually tries to have a theme with everything. It was older writers and voiceover art. I'm not saying he didn't have any new writers, because he did, but it was definitely older 90s, 80s writers. Which is fine, which is cool. There was a lot of really cool writers and artists, but he definitely had a lot of old, Steranko, Claremont, Straczynski. I didn't see Brian Azzarello, because I would have liked to talk to him. Even older dudes that I'm not even like, like Tom Gromit and Tim Truman, and he's definitely had a lot of older writers. And then he had a couple of like, new Tom King and Donny Cates, and he had Jerry Ordway. He had a lot of older guys that Joe Rubenstein, Bob Hall, so a lot of old writers. So, like, if you're a big John Cassidy, where was John Cassidy?
I didn't see him. Don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I walked around a lot, but I missed a lot of like Todd Knock was there too. He's an artist that I really like. I didn't see him either. Like, I don't know. There was a lot of people that I did not see, unfortunately. So I don't know if I just missed them.
We might have just missed them. Yeah.
Or if, I don't know, they weren't placed well. They were maybe placed in a different area. I don't know. But there was a couple people that I missed that I totally did not see that I wanted to see. But yeah, you had a lot of older writers sprinkled with a couple of new guys. Where like last year was more of the new breed sprinkled with a couple of old guys.
Yeah. So
he definitely tries to mix it up, change it up, make it good. So, yeah, I never saw Billy D either. I saw his table. I never saw him.
I saw his table. I never saw him.
So he must have been pretty limited.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big name.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I never saw him, and I never saw Val. I didn't even see Val Kilmer's table.
I saw his like little area, but I never saw him.
Okay, yeah, I never saw him.
No.
Do you think he was chunky?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, he has been for several years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he bulked up for Terrificon.
Maybe, yeah. Hit the gym, you know.
So, yeah, this is the first year you didn't come, Dimitri. So, are you sad that you missed out?
Not really.
Oh,
Just because the way that you guys explained it, for, like Jason said, for casuals, there's really not too much to do. It's becoming more of a die-hard fan convention or a niche convention where, unless you read comic books regularly and unless you know these people and their names, there's really not too much to do.
but see, I think that's okay. So most comic conventions are huge actors. So you'll go to a con like something like Boston Comic Con. Like John Travolta's there one day. The dude who played Luke Cage is there.
Yeah.
Just to name a few. Stephen Amell, who plays the Green Arrow, is there for one day. Like they'll have like these big names. They'll only be there for a day out of the 3, and it'll probably be like impossible to see them. You'll probably either have to wait in a long ass line, and it'll probably be one of those things that if you just wanted to walk up and be like, "Hey, Mike Coulter, you're awesome. I love you as Luke Cage," you probably couldn't do that.
Yeah, sure.
You'd probably have to walk up, pay for his autograph, or pay for taking a photo with him.
No, they're more accessible. You're definitely right.
They're definitely more accessible, and I mean, yeah, it's a little bit more comic oriented because he doesn't have more of the pop culture guys. But I don't think it's one of those things that it's just for comic fans. I think every year it's a little different. Like this year it was all for those like old school voice actors. Like if you wanted to get like Pinky and the Brain to like record some, like you could, any of the voice actors you could go and pay for a record. Like they would record something for you, like a message or a happy birthday or.
Right.
But I think that's kind of cool. So that this year was just more focused on like old school writers and voice actors where, I don't know, I feel like most conventions that if you go to like a convention, like a, because I don't even want to call them Comic Cons, like a pop culture convention.
Yeah.
It's just big actors sprinkled with has-beens, and there'll be a few comic writers and artists and stuff. But for the most part, it's just a bunch of stuff you can buy and then big people that you have to pay to see. So, like, Boston Comic Con has, like, the cast of Boy Meets World this year, which is really cool. But you'd probably have to pay to meet them all. You can't just walk up and be like, hey, I love you, Corey Matthews. You got to, like, get his autograph or something.
Yeah, sure.
Or they're going to be like, get the hell out of here. Beat it, kid. You know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know. I think that it needed an after party.
Yes, no, you've mentioned that 3 times now. Yeah.
Listen, if there was an after party, you would have.
Oh, sure.
You
yeah,
would've
I'm
been-
down for any after party. Yeah.
Dimitri, the after parties were pretty cool.
I never went to any of
You
them.
never went to any of them?
No.
I swear you went to one of them with us.
Oh, the rooftop one 2 years ago.
Yeah. That was a good time.
It wasn't really an after party. It was more
Oh,
just...
Dimitri. You are
I'm hard to please, I know.
you are very hard to please.
In the future, they have better after parties. So,
So
just-
what
Less money, better after parties.
So
Yeah.
what's a what would you want to see at a convention? What would make Dimitri happy? What's a Dimitri convention?
I'm not a comic book person, so
It doesn't have to be comic book.
None of these comic book people really relate
What
to
would
me.
you want to see at a convention? What would pull you in? Who's someone that you'd want to see?
Maybe like actors, TV people have shows that I watch, but that's that's all relative because everybody watches different shows and different movies.
Sure.
More technology, so similar to like PAX East, where they have all these indie game developers or AAA titles or something like that. It's
See,
tough to say.
for me, I'm not a bit like I kind of almost hate PAX.
Yeah.
Not because like I don't love video games, because I'm cool. Like video games are cool. Like I still like them. Like I still want to look into video game stuff. You can't friggin' move.
It's
all.
tough.
You can't move.
PAX is tough.
If you want to play a game, say there's a ton of games you want to play. There's a bunch of
I don't go there to play games though. I go there for contacts, to network, and to work.
Sure, I know that, but I'm saying like I'm going as a fan. See, so this is the first time that I went there fully and I focused on contacts and I was Dimitri, And
Well, that makes it sound really bad.
and it wasn't. I didn't have a great time. Well, I had it was a good time, but it wasn't like past years where I had it was like the best, and I was like starry eyed and I had an awesome time. Like either I'm just growing up and I'm becoming more cynical like Howard Chaykin, or
Maybe.
I just didn't have those connections this year. I just didn't have fun. Like I wasn't at Terrificon as a fan really.
I've never gone to a con as a fan.
Oh, I always do. I go both. I'm a dual. I try to like be a fan, and I try to, get contacts and stuff like that. Even like going to the panels this year, I was more focused on recording them than I was to really like listen to them. Like I listened, but like in past years, I'd be like fully locked in, like, oh, this is awesome, like, like, or I'd want to ask a question, or like this year, like, yeah, of course I had questions, but I was just like, nah, let me just focus on this video here. Like, I don't know. I just was not a fan, and that's something that I definitely never want to lose. Like, even though I do the show, and I'm technically in the media, I guess.
Yeah.
I still want to be able to be a fan. Like, I never want to I don't want to lose that. And this year I lost it a little bit, for sure. I definitely lost it a little. I was more focused on doing stuff than, What we really need to do is perfect our media laugh
Yes.
and start moderating panels.
Right. We learned that. We need a big-time media laugh.
Then then it's okay then I'll move to that next level of, media-wise over, well, I guess he was still being a fan.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't know. I think I would have did a better job.
Maybe.
This guy's supposed to be the godfather of...
Well, you would have had your watch set right. That's that's one thing. You wouldn't have been on Central Time.
I would have my watch set right.
That's one thing that would have been good.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have fought with...
Fought with one of the... what are they called?
Boy
The
Scouts?
Yeah.
The Scouts.
Fighting with the scout in the middle of a panel.
Yeah, probably wouldn't
not
do that.
the best look.
Probably wouldn't do that.
Not the best look.
But he can do what he wants.
I know. Yeah.
He's the podfather.
Apparently.
So, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, not to knock him. He was all right.
Sure.
I think I could have done a better job on some of the panels. There were some of them that I definitely I couldn't have, but certain people I definitely...
I don't think we can let you do a Tom King panel.
Why? I couldn't hit him with the hard questions?
Yeah, no, I don't think we can allow that. Yeah.
I think I would have did an all right job, but yeah. I feel when you're a moderator, you got to slightly ball wash.
Yeah.
And, be a host but be a fan at the same time. And I think I can do that. I'm the king of ball washing.
Yeah.
When I need to wash,
yeah,
you're gonna see yourself in those balls. So, yeah,
right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens next year, for sure.
I'm getting my own room next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I need to sleep, John.
Holy
smokes.
It couldn't have been that bad.
You were breaking through my noise-canceling headphones. It was bad. They're noise-canceling headphones. I don't hear a plane. When I'm on a plane, I don't hear the plane. I heard you.
Oh, I can't help it.
Oh, my God. I got 2 hours of sleep this weekend, people. 2 collectively out of the 3 days. God.
So... Even if you falling asleep first didn't work out?
No, I wasn't able to. You always fell asleep first.
Oh,
and then that's when it starts, and it doesn't stop.
Oh, we should have made sure that you fell asleep first.
Yeah,
then.
that wouldn't have worked.
Why not?
Because it's loud, man. It's really bad.
Oh.
Although I did find that YouTube has a nice selection of those noise machine type of things, like sound of waterfalls, rain, Have to crank the volume up to max, but yeah, they were very nice.
I'll have to work on not snoring, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
There's really no way to do it. You snorers are incredibly selfish people, but
I don't want to be.
Well, fix it then. I don't know.
How?
Do whatever you have to do. Whatever medical thing you have to do, just do it. You snorers. Good
I don't
lord.
know. I don't know how to do it.
Ugh.
I'll have to Google it. How to stop snoring.
It was
And
probably
see
some
what see what
thing
they
that
say.
they can do. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you gotta
But-
wear one of those masks or whatever.
Mm.
A sleep apnea mask?
No, there's different ones, aren't there? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some masks that they have for snorers that like cuts down on it, but yeah. Other than that, though, fun weekend.
No sleep.
Yeah, I mean there was no sleep. I ran purely on caffeine and Krispy Kreme for 3 days. But
I'll work on it next year.
there you go.
I'll
Good.
work on it.
You got a full year to get it
and
ready.
see what
so.
I can do. I'm looking at steps right now, and
You're not gonna do any of them, are you? That's
I
a
don't
no.
know.
That's a no.
I'll try. There's some of them I can do, but
Good.
Is it one of them like setting up or something?
one of them's having your head propped up, which I thought I tried to do. Well, I think I did the reverse.
Yeah.
I thought it was if your head. So I think I pulled. So usually I sleep with 2 pillows, but I think I was like, oh, I really did. I felt bad. Like I didn't want to snore, so like I think I pulled the pillow and I was like super uncomfortable, like with like flat on the bed, and I guess that was the reverse of what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to raise your head up. I moved it down, so I had like a stiff neck, and it didn't help. It probably made it worse. So, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'll have to work on some of these, so maybe. But I guess that's for this. That's it for this edition of Static Rift here on the Go Network. Our Terrificon roundup. Hope you enjoyed listening to our adventures at Mohegan Sun and Jason's lack of sleep because I can't help snoring, I guess.
Mhm.
Was there a better night or
No.
they both sucked?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was equal torment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. So, if you liked listening to what you heard, because clearly Jason didn't, because I was a orchestra of chainsaws and loud noises over the weekend. But if you like what you heard, you can listen to any of our back episodes on any podcast platform, on iTunes, on Spotify, on Stitcher, on Google Play, right?
Yep.
Google Play. All those podcasting platforms. You can find us on all social media platforms at Static Rift Radio. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of our past videos or all these episodes that maybe what you're watching right now are on YouTube, youtube.com/Static Rift Radio. So just at Static Rift Radio everywhere you'll find us. And tune into the Go Network. They have a lot of great shows. Dimitri's the best producer on the planet, and they need more of you to tune in and enjoy the quality programming here on the Go Network. So thank you for listening in. We'll be here next week with some wrestling talk. We'll sprinkle in some other stuff. So be ready for next week. We're going to have a good time. And I'll get working on my snoring. So have a good night, Rifters.